My name is Kelly. I own Dogkind and I specialize in confidence building for extremely fearful, feral, or shutdown dogs. And today we're talking about trust building, which I know is a really important topic when you're caring for a really sensitive dog who maybe doesn't trust a lot of things or maybe any people in life, and we'd like them to. We want them to be more comfortable, more confident, and feel safe. So let's talk about how we do that. What can we do to build trust with our fearful dogs? Okay, trust building exercise for shutdown, fearful, or semi-feral dogs. Who is this for? This is for you if you have a dog who's extremely fearful, anxious, and or suspicious. Your dog is sometimes avoidant of you or fearful of you, or maybe always avoidant of you, and you want to build trust with them. So trust isn't really a behavioral term, and so I wanted to define what I'm talking about today when I talk about trust. The way I think of trust and the way that I think, what I think most of my students mean by this when they say they want to build trust with their dogs, is that trust for our dogs is a learning history, their learning history based on our behavior. So it depends on what we do around our dogs. And a dog will learn to quote unquote trust us if they learn that we predict good things and that we're consistent. We consistently predict good things and we're predictable, and we're not predictors of bad things. Now, how do we build trust? How do we break trust with our dogs? Today, I'm talking about touch and interaction with our fearful dogs. Many sensitive dogs do not want to be touched often, and some of our dogs never want to be touched. But I commonly see this advice that, well, if your dog isn't comfortable being petted, if you have one of these shutdown or feral dogs, just pet them to help them get used to it. Sit next to them and pet them until they get used to it. But if you keep in mind the definition of trust that we just talked about, predicting good things and not predicting bad things, if your dog doesn't like petting, you are breaking their trust if you pet them regardless, because you are predicting bad things now. And that is not what you want if you're trying to build trust with your fearful dog. Okay, so let's walk through a basic trust building exercise. And this is what I would like all of you at home to try this week, and then share some video about how it went, and we'll talk about it in the Facebook group, or you can send it to me via email. The first thing I want to do is, whenever you would normally touch your dog, instead of just going ahead and touching them, offer your hand to them kind of low, below their nose level, at least several inches away from them, and then wait for about a count of 3 to give them a chance to respond and to give you the chance to back up and kind of observe how they're reacting to your hand being offered. Now, this is the important part that most of us don't do, but it's especially important with our sensitive dogs. Only pet your dog if they press themselves into your hand. They move into your hand. And I said presses here because a lot of dogs will kind of reach out their nose to sniff your hand, but that is not necessarily an invitation to pet them. So just wait for 3, and if your dog does press themselves into your hand, go ahead and pet them. If they do anything else, including looking away from you, or even just kind of nothing, just staring at you, take your hand away from them and put it down. All right, let's take a look at some example videos. And when you watch these, pause the video and make a note. Do I think this dog wants to be touched or not? Here's my little guy, Pancake. I am offering my hand right there. And what does he do? So what do you think he wants here? What should I do based on his reaction to my hand being offered? So I would say this is a no, and I should just take my hand away. He looked at my hand and then looked away. Here's another example with Pancake. So same dog. My hand is available. What is he doing? So I hope you can see that is a pretty clear, yes, go ahead and pet. He is moving into my hand when I offer it. All right, this is one of my student dogs, Sky, and her mom was gracious enough to make this video to give us some examples of body language and interactions when it comes to petting. So if you have a really scared dog who tends to spend a lot of their time in a safe space or a bed, this may look familiar to you. Sky is curled up in her bed here. Mom approaches, sits sideways to her, which is usually better, and then she offers her hand. Watch Sky's behavior. So what do you think Sky's mom should do here? Watch Sky's behavior again. She sniffs mom's hand a little bit and then turns her head slightly away. Here, according to what we've talked about earlier about trust building or trust breaking, this would be a time to not reach out and pet your dog, right? Because she has not moved into your hand, she's moved her head a little bit away. And here's another example with a guest star, feline guest star. So again, here is a nice example of mom offering her hand low to Sky, and watch what Sky does. So what I like here is this is an example of the dog not having a big obvious reaction to the hand being offered, but also not moving into it. So sniff, and then slight head turn away, and mom puts her hand down. So that was perfect. That was that's sort of interesting, but I'm not asking to be touched. Oh, and here's an example. I wanted to show this because a lot of times people say, oh yeah, my dog's fine. I mean, my dog doesn't always ask for petting, but they're fine if I pet them. And so please watch the next few seconds of video and jot down what you are seeing in terms of Sky's behavior and body language after she has said no thank you to the petting and mom pets anyway. A lot of people might say, oh, she's fine. What do you see that tells you how she feels about this petting? So what do you have here? You have a head turning way away, and then you'll actually see her moving her head away to groom a bit, and actually moving her whole body away a little bit with her legs. Now we're going to have another example. So a sniff, and then a lift head away. So according to what we've talked about again today, the guidelines for trust building, you would not continue. You would not touch the dog because she just sniffed and pulled her head back a little and did not opt in enthusiastically. What happens if Sky's mom pets anyway? Many people again may say, oh, she seems okay. But if you are learning to understand your fearful dog better, this is good practice. Watch what you see from Sky. Let's go back and look at that again. Then I'll narrate. So you've got a little bit of a head dip and some lip licking and a little mini yawn. Those are signs, generally interpreted as signs of discomfort, and tells us that even though she's not, running away or appears terrified, she's not comfortable with this touch. All right, and last one, this is really short, but tell me what you see. So this is a nice example. Mom is offering the hand here low and a little bit away from Asta. And what does Asta do? That is a nice example of pressing into the hand and saying yes to petting. Okay, so trust building was our topic today. In summary, trust is a learning history, the way I'm talking about it today, in the way that I think is relevant to you if you have a really sensitive dog. Trust is your dog's learning history based on your behavior. So this is on you and your behavior. So you can build trust by changing your behavior, and you can break trust using your behavior. What I'm suggesting you try this week when you try this little exercise is asking your dog, do you want this? And then listening to their answer. So here is what your homework is for this week. Offer your hand low for 3 seconds. Watch what your dog does. Only pet your dog if they lean into your hand, and otherwise move your hand away. And then share video, whether it's in our Facebook group or somewhere else. You can email it to me or post a link below the video in YouTube. and we can look at it together. Okay, this is a brand new free resource I have for you. If you don't have this already, go to dogkindtraining.com/fun, and I have a PDF guide with an accompanying video lesson on your fearful dog's first enrichment game, and that is a resource for dogs who are not interested really in any enrichment because they're anxious or fearful. So this is a way to get them started doing something that is fun. All right, everyone, I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful week. Shoot me a message or comment below the video if you have a question, and I'll see you next week.